We're back once again with Let's Play Golden Sun, The Lost Age. I'm Nye, and Nixu is stopping me from screaming.
Yep.
We had an issue earlier where I did about 4 hours of Let's Play, and my mic was off the entire time and I didn't know it, so I have to redo all of that.
Yeah. One of the benefits of having, myself or Italia or any of the other co-commentators in on this is when his mic is off, we know, and we yell at him.
Yeah, it was unpleasant. Now, the good thing is I faffed about in here for the better portion of an hour, because some of the puzzles I couldn't remember how to complete. Now I remember how to complete them.
Step 1, kill Emu.
Yeah.
Step 2, kill Emu. Step 3, kill Emu.
I was so overpowered by the end of this dungeon. Like, I was taking maybe 2 HP per hit. Which is weird, because then I left this dungeon, and I started taking 10 HP per hit from the guys outside of it.
Whoops.
Kill some emus. Now, this dungeon has multiple levels up and down. It doesn't really end up mattering, but it is kind of cool that they put the floor indicator on these little patches right outside the doors. This was one of the puzzles where I had to think for a little while because I couldn't remember exactly how it was done. The good thing is, now you don't have to watch me do that, because now I remember how you do this.
Yay.
This dungeon has some pretty cool stuff in it, but I ask you, who is letting the sand pile up this much? Which janitor needs to be fired for this?
All of them.
Probably. So we know what to do with sand.
Get rid of it.
Yep. Now, you guys can see I arranged this in such a certain pattern. Put this block on the bit I pounded, things like that. The reason why is if you don't, that happens. Makes an easy way down, though.
And because they're at different heights, the whirlwinds hit at different heights.
Yep.
That's nifty.
I think some of this dungeon, I will admit, feels like padding. Like, a lot of this dungeon feels good, and, there's a lot of unique puzzles in here that are fun to solve, but there's just some portions of this dungeon that are totally padding. Once again, we have the, pillar spot, which means the pillar will never move from that spot now. And Nixu had mentioned Flora in a previous episode. We'll be getting that later on. Nifty summon. See how little damage I'm taking?
Yeah, a little bit.
I felt so powerful when I went through here. Just took such little damage from everything. And then again, I went to the Yampi Desert, which we solved like 3 hours ago, and started taking epic amounts of damage from it. Look, it's that steam vent thing we did. There's the tablet in question. Can't access it right now, though. More emus to kill. So in order to avoid having further issues with frame rate downs, we're trying a frame skip option for this episode. So you may see a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Might not look so pure as it usually does.
That's a nifty puzzle.
Especially because if you screw it up, you don't get screwed out of it. Hey, look, it's a rock. I can't do anything with it, but be using that later on. Another rock. I do appreciate that Golden Sun gives you all these little shortcuts to get back to the places where you already were, so you don't have to waste time with going all the way around gigantic maps again.
Yeah, that is good.
It's kind of nice.
Now, at the time it was released, was that a novel idea, or is it something that other games were doing?
I think other games did it too, but it wasn't this common thing. You know, I mean, I'm not going to refer to that as fast travel because it's not fast travel.
No, it's not. It's
But having shortcuts through dungeons, that way you don't have to go all the way back around, wasn't exactly a known thing.
Yeah, it was a checkpoint function that wasn't, a literal ding checkpoint.
Exactly. This is a cool puzzle right here. We'll get to see a little bit more of this later on, but that's another thing that Golden Sun did that I haven't seen in a lot of games of its time, is having environment interact with itself. This had a lot of cool ideas. Not all of them were particularly novel, not a lot of them were unique, and they didn't start all of them, but they did a lot of things together, which made it a really good RPG.
Yeah. It definitely kept to the idea of a bit of a puzzle, a bit of a not quite platformer, because it was more of just a this is preventing you from continuing, fix it.
Yeah, it has I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's like point-and-click adventure, but it almost has a feel like that.
Yeah, it does kind of do an adventure element to it. And instead of slowing you down with a lot of random encounters, it instead says you have this to complete.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. There
well,
was a
okay.
You folks are not going to see it. You will not see me get pissed over it because it's in an episode I had to delete because again my mic wasn't on. But there was a section which we may actually go back and see later on because it might happen again, where I was having a random encounter less than a second after my previous one.
Well, if this was, say, Pokemon,
every 2 steps.
You would have fought at least 40 Zubats in the time it takes me to complete the sentence.
This is completely true.
Like, you're doing entire legs of the puzzle without hitting a random encounter.
Well, that is one thing that Golden Sun does that I really, really appreciate, is that if you have a puzzle to deal with, they lower the encounter rate.
Significantly.
The problem is there's so many puzzles in the game that when you don't have a puzzle, all of a sudden the encounter rate goes up and you sit there going, what the hell did I do to deserve this?
Yeah, you kind of get used to a lowered encounter rate when everything is puzzle, but I do appreciate that they lower the encounter rate in puzzle zones, because if you're right about to finish something and all of a sudden zombies, you're like, well, great, there goes my concentration, now I gotta think about killing zombies.
Yeah. There's not a lot of puzzles that have that problem, the concentration thing, but there are a few notable ones, at least for my first playthrough, where I had to think about it for a second.
Yeah. But, some of these were kind of new ideas. Say, at the time of its release, some of these concepts were completely new and you didn't have them born into tropes by the time we're here.
Hell, some of them still aren't.
Yeah. So if a puzzle's completely new and not, say, that stupid fucking Ice Capades puzzle where you just... Sorry. Pokemon flashback.
Mm-hmm.
The Ice Cave. I hate the Ice Cave.
Just because you have to know exactly how to do it, and you'll be doing it over and over and over again until you get it right. 1 second. Oh, that was amusing. Anyways, definitely watch the animation right now as I am walking up and down this rope. One of Felix's legs is completely in the air.
Yep.
Just amusing. I think in that quick break I had to take, we kind of lost the thread of conversation.
Yeah, a little bit.
So that was level 4. We're dropping down to level 5. That door looks important.
It looks like it's 6.
Level 5 was up. There was just no door there. Here's level 7. This room is actually kind of cool, because this is a pure Psynergy stone. Not only is it here, but it actually serves a minor storyline purpose. Very cool. It's nice that they actually acknowledge some of this stuff.
Yeah, isn't it powering all the stuff going through Ayers Rock?
I don't know if it ever said that, but it wouldn't surprise me. That is the sort of thing that Golden Sun likes to do. Now watch, you can actually see the small line of air that goes from the big open mouth to the small open mouth. We'll get to see that one more time. Just a very cool effect, like it's breathing life into the lower ones, but you can barely see it. If we go out here, more quick access. And this one is actually right next to the little pool of water that we have to freeze later on. But we still don't have that fourth party member. I wonder who it could be.
Because if you think about it, just below this large open mouth is the Psynergy stone.
Yeah. It's a pretty fair statement. The thing is, when we get up here, there's another one that's not even connected. This dude right here. I mean, if you trace it upwards, you might be able to, you know, match it there, but he's not exactly connected.
Well, no, but it's just a nifty thing.
And that is easy access down to the bottom if we so choose to use it. Oh, I got that one perfectly.
Good job.
There's a vial. Remember, we don't really ever see any of those high-quality Psynergy stones ever again. It's like that one, and that's about it. There might be others in the future, though. Okay, before we actually continue this dungeon, we're gonna go get that tablet first, so I can just leave and finish it. Before I forget, kind of have a lot of items. Just want to make sure that we don't. If you get too many items, if your item list actually fills up, this is not like most other games where you get to choose which item you keep and which you drop. Golden Sun is kind of mean that way. It just drops whatever you got lately. So if you're going after, for instance, a K-sword, and it drops, but your inventory is full, kiss it goodbye. Move this to a very specific position, right there. That little shortcut had a more specific use, that way we can do this rather easily. This is more environment interacting with environment in a very cool way. Well, I can already see just from where I'm sitting, the animation isn't as smooth when I use this frame skip, but
I'm not missing as many frames.
I'm curious how the actual recording will end up. Of course, an emu stops me from getting that happening.
Fuck you, emu.
There's our third alternate summon. And Flora has a secondary effect of being able to put enemies to sleep.
It might not be the highest proc rate, but
it does do considerable damage while it does it, so you get a little bit of both. And make our way down here. Okay, so this is a room we have not yet been in. Did I just... yeah, I did. The first time I went into this room in my past playthrough, I did not make that mistake. You gotta go down here first, and set this pillar.
luckily there's an easy way to go back.
Well, there's always retreat. Right now, I'm not that far into the game. Or, well, that far into the dungeon. But it's nice that they gave me that out. Okay. I have commented multiple times on the view range in this game. And one of my greatest annoyances in this game is the fact that the developers use view range as a puzzle in some cases. This is one of them. To my left, which you cannot see from where I am standing, is another platform that you'll get blown onto by this mouth. Now, the first one's easy because we can see exactly where we land on this one. Get our chest. There's a clarity circlet. Circlet. And Shiva obviously gets that because it increases wind power. Now, I have to hit this spot right here, this spot, or the one beneath it. I have a 3-area margin of error for this particular push. You can't even see it from the middle platform. Last time I got exactly right, I was just on the edge. That's about it. But you can't see it from here, so you won't know if you're right until you actually get there. Perfect. That feels a little bit like fake difficulty to me.
Oh, actually, go back up there, real quick.
1 second. Mummy.
Wow, you've been getting Hurricane pretty consistently.
Some of the weapons have really good proc rates.
Actually, it looks like if you hit on that square below you as well.
Yeah. So there are, I mean, there's multiple options, but it's one of those, there are failure solutions, but you would never know they're failure solutions until you actually hit them. Hey, look, it's a jumping puzzle. Because I haven't seen plenty of these in the game.
Isn't that wind going to shoot you right back?
I wasn't close enough. That's actually kind of surprising. In a lot of games, the wind thing has happened in many games before. This wasn't the first one. It wasn't the last either.
Oh no.
Some of them, they do actually push you off the ledges just for solving them. This game doesn't often do that, and if it does, there's actually a reason for it.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of dungeons in the game where upper floors directly link to lower floors in all cases. And usually it's it's actually with a slide drop or a elevator mechanic. Here goes Felix, he's walking on midair. Feels as if I've been in this room before. Now, Hurricane just has this wonderful proc rate. It's one of a few weapons that have really high proc rates. Okay, this one's actually kind of a trick, because it shows you what you really want to do with the stone. What it doesn't show you is the other thing you want to do with the stone, which is this. It's another one of those pseudo-padding things that Golden Sun does that makes you have to go out, see the puzzle, and then go back to complete it. All for 666 coins.
Well, that feels more like a... If you want to go out of your way for this chest, you can.
The problem is, at this point, Golden Sun has kind of trained you to go out of your way to get chests, because a lot of the chests you go out of your way for have good stuff in them.
True.
And then when it says, yeah, here's some coins that you're already going to make more than this in 6 battles, and you're going to have 6 battles before you leave this room.
Yeah, coins are kind of a booby prize at this point in the game.
Oh, you have no... Oh, I forgot. I can't go this way yet. You have no idea. When I reached the end of my Let's Playing last night, I had something like 10,000 coins, some ridiculous amount, and only needed to use, like, 2,000 of them at any given point in time.
Now, this puzzle is definitely padding, in my opinion.
Yeah.
3 screens worth of going up.
Then down, then up again. And then, if you fail to do so, the wind just blows you back until you figure out what to do.
Well, yeah, so you assume that you're going to take one trip, or a half trip up and back, and then a full trip up and back, and then a full trip up just to complete the puzzle.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's a... Well, I'd love to call that one padding. It's a natural use of the wind faces.
Yeah. It's just the length of the puzzle feels like padding.
Well, it had to be... That one, it did have to be, like, out of view range in order to make it actually work.
Well, yeah.
But that's way out of view range.
This is what I'm saying. The length of the puzzle could have been shorter and accomplished the same degree of difficulty and the same degree of thought.
I think there's also something to be said for the whole... You have to run so far back. Ruh-roh.
Oh.
That doesn't look good. They're cutting off my exit.
It's a one-way trip, motherfucker. Yes, touch the strange thing.
As if we haven't been hinted towards this reward for the past 4 or 5 episodes.
Oh, reveal.
For those who never played Golden Sun 1, or who didn't watch the previous Let's Play on Golden Sun 1, Reveal is an absolutely fantastic power, and probably one of the more useful powers in the game. What it does is it reveals to you stuff that you can't see immediately. Now, Reveal is usually hinted at by a circle of stones like this. If you see 6 objects in a circle, or, as in a case we'll see a little bit later when I do a little bit of backtracking, 9 objects which don't seem to have any use whatsoever, Reveal usually indicates the middle actually has something in it. Reveal is also used in a number of other cases. You can usually see hidden doors with Reveal that you wouldn't be able to see otherwise. Not always, as Nyx commented on the last game, but usually you'll be able to see the hidden doors. You can also use Reveal when you're near any pots or any other containers that you could search for free items. It will sparkle, well, the item will sparkle when it actually contains an item. Now, I don't know why I'm jumping all this way back other than to show you guys how Reveal works, because we have completed this dungeon. And I have no intention of doing anything else in here.
No, there wasn't any, reveal points.
Not that I recall.
Okay.
But I mean, that's about as far as I can say, not that I recall.
Oh, yeah.
I do know there's no Djinn in this dungeon that we have missed. There wasn't any Djinn to begin with. And I do know that there's no good items that we missed. Well, let's make our way back to Garo. We'll call this episode a day. And on the next episode, we'll finish up in Nixu's favorite village.
Yay. By the way, this call took... this Let's Play took a total of, 40 minutes? And that's including your break.
Yeah, it's including me walking off. It The dungeon took me about 45 minutes on first playthrough, because I had to remember how some of the, puzzles went, and on top of remembering how some of the puzzles went, I did make a few mistakes, and I had to go all the way back through the thing, even after I completed the dungeon, in order to get Flora. So it didn't take that much longer, and I do like that some of the dungeons are bite-sized. And of course, I know what I'm doing, so it takes a lot longer if you don't. But, okay. Well, we are in Garo. That's it for this Let's Play. I will see you guys next episode.